Would you believe it? It's actually sponsored by Squarespace.
It's hot. It's really hot. It's not as hot as the workshop. Hello everyone, welcome to, this is going to be like an episode, but it's just too hot to work in that workshop. This is going to be a Bill's Bits episode, because I do lots of little bits, and it's, you know, like a Bill's Bits vlog, alright? It's just too hot. It's like a sauna inside the workshop at the moment. I've done some bits in there, which you're going to see in a bit, but yeah, I just could not stay in there any longer. I thought, why not get the piece of the camera while I do my, you know, my daily 20-meter walk. I don't know what 20 meters is in American, but trust me, it's far. Okay, it's far. I think everyone should get out, do a bit of exercise once in a while. You know, even me. I exercise quite often, actually, to be honest with you. I'm not going to start doing an exercise YouTube channel or anything. Bill walking on stuff, but no, I believe exercise is quite important, especially for me. It's good for my mental health, and it makes me lose weight. You know what, someone commented on my video the other day, said, Bill, you look thin. What's wrong? Why do you automatically go for like, oh, Bill's sick, he's lost a bit of weight, he's dying? Could be true, it could be possible, but I like to assume it's the exercise. Point is, it's too hot in the workshop at the moment, and yeah, I figured I'd just do it like this. All right, is that all right with you? Is it all right though? It's quite hard to walk, talk and hold your arm out like this. You feel a bit stupid. Even though there's no one around, still quite aware of how stupid I look. Look at that tree. It's a pretty cool tree. I mean, that kind of is one of the reasons why I go for a walk. I mean, it kind of inspires me to make terrain and bits and pieces and little models, like making that weird tree. Or, you know, or mushrooms. So what are we doing today? You're going to be sitting in your nice air-conditioned living room, or your wherever it is, and you're going to watch me figure out how many things I can make with foam clay. I need to use it. I can't just have it sitting there. I can't even walk past. I have to step over it to get in my workshop. I used it in the last episode to make like mushrooms and fungus and things like that. And I had a lot of comments of people saying, you know, Bill, you look thin. What's wrong? And comments about, like, you know, you can use that for all sorts of things. They kept giving me suggestions, like try using it in a mold, for example, or try using it to make cables and pipes and tentacles and things like that. And yeah, I think we're going to try that today.
So here is my homemade tentacle/pipe maker. It's don't worry about all that white stuff, that's just hair gel. Don't worry about that. Oh yeah, some people may not know what this is. This is a hair comb. Yes, people used to comb their hair back in the day. I sound really old. I mean, I never did, but you know, it's called a hair comb. Anyway, what you do is you rub it along like that, and you create like a little white worm. If you've ever wanted to make a worm, if you do a bit of a deeper, a harder push, you can kind of get a cable. It's not a very good cable. You can kind of get away with that. But let's try it with you know, a comb on both sides, and that's something. Anyway, I went out and bought an actual cable tentacle maker thing from you know, I'm not going to mention the company. It's not really worth mentioning. But this is the only one I could find. I couldn't really find any knockoffs or anything. I mean, you could probably make this at home or 3D print one. But, you know, let's try it with the foam clay. Yeah, this it's not looking very good, is it? Right, I think that's my fault. Let's try and roll it up into a tentacle first, or like a sausage shape, and then stick it back in. Yeah, I guess if you push the foam clay just a little bit too hard, it doesn't have anywhere to go and it sticks to everything. But otherwise, it's pretty non-sticky. And look at that. That's a nice looking cable. And hopefully when it cures, it will be flexible, which is kind of what we want. So let's just have a bit of fun, shall we? I've always wanted to kind of test this. I put one plate horizontal, one plate vertical, and I'm going to see what we get. So let's see that there, one horizontal, one vertical, and you kind of get kind of a weird cable with little lines that it doesn't really work. Anyway, someone suggested using armature wire in your tentacles and cables, or just in your foam, because once it cures, you should be able to bend it into position. It should stay into position. So let's give it a go. Anyway, I'm going to make a few and I'll show you them all at the end, but also I wanted to try and use a little push mold. This is like a letter mold thing. I thought I could use it to make shop signs and things like that, but let's try using a bit of foam clay in there, see if it holds its shape. I might need to use a bit of a mold release like Vaseline or something, some of your dad's Vaseline, but that looks alright. I think that looks okay. We could probably do better, but let's try some other things. This is a mold I made. This is my first mold I ever made, and I want to see if it picks up any of these details. I mean, it kind of did. I think, yeah, I'm going to get the Vaseline out. Kind of can see it. Let's try this little vent thing first. Nope, I think we definitely need some sort of mold release. But there's potential. There is potential. This is your dad's travel Vaseline, by the way. It's in the workshop somewhere, the big tub. I'm not sure exactly where, but it doesn't matter. All the same stuff. Let's see if this works. And yeah, I'm happy with that. That's got the detail. That's good. Let's try this little vent thing here, little drain thing, and it works. I'm kind of curious how much detail you can actually get on foam clay. These little textured metal plates I made were quite detailed, and I mean you can still kind of see some of the erosion on there. I'm happy. There's a smile on my face. Someone also suggested using it on EVA foam sheets, like making textured sheets, which I'm gonna. I mean, it's kind of hard to get it flat, but what I'm thinking is maybe like animal skins, like reptile skins, furry. You know, like what would you call them? I don't hunt. I'm not American, but you know what I mean. When you cut the skin off an animal and you kind of hang it and make things with it, you know what I mean. Animal skins, pelts. They're called pelts. Animal pelts. So you don't need to comment. You can stop now. I imagine these would be quite nice in a Ruster camp, or if you were like, say you played orcs in one of those big games with orcs in it. That's kind of like nearly every single game that there is. But you know what I mean. You want to make a little camp and you want some animal skins for like yurts and things like that. I think this might be quite useful. That's if it cures nicely. We'll see. We'll see. All experimentation. That looks like a nice little concrete wall. And this roller is supposed to kind of create fur, I guess. I mean, that kind of looks like fur. Hopefully the details will stay once it cures, because I know they kind of shrink. But maybe shrinking would be even better. So I wanted to try other things, to try and make other textures. So I put this little bit of canvas into it, and yeah, I can't get it off. I can't get the foam off that. You know, yeah. Don't try that one because that doesn't really work. Granny grating, or I don't know what's the PC word for it now. Plastic grating that grannies use for sewing. That kind of works. You can make some kind of textured sci-fi metal with that. And of course the classic cake tray. Lots of good cake tray plastics out there. This will kind of looks like a sci-fi floor, like in a Space Hulk or something. I don't know, I need to work on it. Anyway, just a quick sponsor message. See you in a bit. Well, this episode is sponsored by, you guessed it, it's Squarespace. Squarespace is a really useful site to make websites. It's a site where you make websites, and if you're always hesitant about making a website, go to Squarespace, and it is just really easy. Say you want to make a website about, I don't know, for example, a pickle. You want to make a website about pickles. We'll go to this template. There's already pickles on there. You just move them around. You change the text, change the font, do whatever you want. It's drag and drop. It's really easy. I mean, I even made this website here. This is thegutterlands.com. This is my website where I put all of my builds, stories about my builds, and links to the videos. And look at that. I made a pretty nice website. It's so easy to do. If you would like to make a website, there's a link down below. You get 10% off using the code billmakingstuff. Goodbye.
There's something in that bush. I mean, I am in Sussex. There's not a lot of bears in Sussex. There's a lot of bears at Brighton, if you know what side of the pier to go on. So I'm just going to wait for those to cure. I've got a feeling I'm going to use a lot of mushrooms in the future. My challenge for my patrons this month is to make something fungusy. I said fungusy on purpose because I know they hate that word. Anything. Basically, it's just a key word, fungusy. Make whatever you want for the patrons on Discord. If you'd be interested in something like that, join Patron. There's a link down below. I've got it in. Maybe terrain and warm fungusy monsters. I want to make a mould of those mushrooms I made. I've only ever made one mould, and it worked out okay. But I'm going to try a different technique that I've seen on another channel, which will probably end up being wrong because I probably haven't watched it close enough. But no, I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Oh, jeez!
So it's been a few hours, all these things are pretty much cured. What I've noticed is the EVA foam sheet wants to curl a bit. I think maybe if you just roll these things out and let them cure without EVA foam on the back. I mean, but that looks pretty good. That looks like good lizard skin. That looks like a bit of fur. I think there's potential. The worms or the cables, or the tentacles. Yeah, all very nice. All look very good and very flexible. Might be quite tricky to position them into whatever position you want, but that's why we made some with the wires in, didn't we? We did that. Do you remember? We did that. Yeah, here they are, Bill. So these should hold their position, and there we go. Look at that. I'm going to be using these in the future. Look out for these in the future. That's a cool little cable that I can use for some sort of robot or something like that. I don't know, but it's just that's quite satisfying. I'm quite happy with that. Thank you for the suggestion, whoever suggested that. I don't know if anyone did or I dreamt it. I can't remember now. As far as holding detail, yeah, it holds detail pretty well in these molds. Makes me want to make another mold for my mushrooms, to be honest with you. And obviously all of these things are flexible and they stick really well with super glue to anything. Anyway, I think the experiment's over. It works. I'm going to make a push mold with mushroom caps of all various sizes, so I can easily make mushroom caps in the future. And the stalks, obviously, are pretty easy. But I'm going to use a bit of green stuff. This stuff is so gritty and old. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we just need to make some temporary mushroom caps that we can use to make a mold. And I like to use a bit of tin foil as armature. I don't want to waste the green stuff, even though it's probably going to... The green stuff's on its way out. I probably should just use it all. But no, I'm going to be thrifty and use a bit of tin foil as an armature. Plus it's easier to sculpt on a tin foil armature. But there we go. Have I ever told you it's kind of stressful using green stuff? I find it stressful. I don't know what I think it's just because there's like a time limit. That's why I like foam clay. Foam clay, you know, there's not really a time limit on it. You can just keep remolding it. But it does not hold detail quite as good as that. Look, I mean, look at that. Look at my tiny little texture tool. Did you see that? Did you catch that? That was cool, wasn't it? There we go. First mushroom cap. And here we go, a slightly smaller mushroom cap. I'm going to vary them up. I'm going to try and make as many different types as I can, really. So when I have this mold, I've kind of got a lot of options. This is going to be a longer, taller, almost like a wizard cap shaped mushroom. Is there such a thing as a wizard cap mushroom? I don't know. There is now. Look. And this thing is going to be like, what would you call them? The kind of mushrooms that come out sideways of trees. Are they even mushrooms? I don't know. With this one, I wanted to make like a little spore husk thing. I have no way to explain what I'm doing here. Kind of like a bit of coral. Looks a bit like coral. I could probably double it up as a bit of coral once it's in the mold, but I don't know. Just some little spore thing with lots of little holes. But anyway, there we go. A variety of mushroomy, fungusy textures that I can use in the mold. Also, I had a bit of green stuff left over, and whenever you have a bit of green stuff, make a little green stuff tool. Now I think I have a genius idea. I'm going to make a tool that I can use to press the reverse of the mushroom into the mold, which creates like the underside of a mushroom. I'm not explaining it very well, but you'll see later. I'm pretty sure it's genius. Pretty sure. So time to make a silicone mold. I'm no expert at making molds. I'm actually very experienced in making molds. I have no idea really. I know I've seen someone use Lego bricks to make like a mold casing, which you pour the silicone in. So I went and got some cheap blocks, obviously non-Lego brand, and we're going to position it around the mold like this and hopefully make a temporary little enclosure. So I know that much, that I need a watertight kind of seal all around the bottom, but I cannot find my glue gun anywhere. It's gone missing. I think my wife has used it for like an art project and she hasn't put it back in the workshop, and I really can't be bothered to go downstairs. So I'm going to use a blowtorch and a glue gun cartridge, I was going to say, a glue stick, and melt it and try and seal it in. I don't think it's sealed enough. It probably isn't, but hopefully the silicone mold stuff isn't that kind of liquidy. But we'll find out. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure. No one ever has like mold or mold making mistakes on YouTube. That never happens, does it? Anyway, it's a simple mold thing. It's a 2-part mold. You just part A, part B, 1-to-1 mix, and you just mix it up and pour it in. So hopefully I won't mess it up. Now I know this much, you pour it from quite high up, so the air bubbles don't get caught in there, and I can already see it's leaking. It's leaking, Bill. Bill, stop. Stop, Bill, it's leaking. I can see it's leaking, the crafting Bill has seen it. I'm going to try and recover some of this fluid into the cup and pour it back in, because it's all I've got left of that silicone mold stuff. And and it's just, yeah, it just keeps coming out. Looks like Ghostbusters. Yeah, maybe if, yeah, I'm going to pour the stuff out of the mould, and we're going to bake potato it. We're going to wrap it in foil and see if that kind of captures it just long enough for it to cure slightly in the little gaps of the Lego. And yeah, who said making moulds was easy? I mean, it is easy. I'm just really, really bad at it. Let's just, I'm going to go wash my hands. Back in a bit.
Well, that was a bit of a disaster. I mean, I managed, I think it might be okay. I'm leaving it to cure, but I think I wasted like a whole bottle of silicone mould, well, A and B. To be honest, if my wife didn't take the glue gun, I probably would have been able to seal it properly at the bottom. So basically, it's my wife's fault. Can you be quiet, please? Thank you. There's like a bird over there making noise. Kind of like my wife. I'm only joking. If you ever watch these videos, you won't. Actually, I'm not joking. So assuming the silicone doesn't leak completely and spread out across my whole workshop, it should cure in 3 to 4 hours, and we can see if it works. Yeah. But yeah, this is, and then I've got to clean it up. I keep walking along, and the water bottle in my bag keeps going bloop, 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 bloop. I keep thinking it's like people talking behind me, like people are coming up behind me. I mean, there's not. It's nothing worse than when you're on a walk and you see someone coming towards you, and they've got a big smile and they say hello, and you're like, hello, and you don't realise how quiet you've been, or whether any words actually left your mouth at all. You just kind of went like this. Like, it just looks weird. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but I haven't seen anyone, which is quite nice. It's just me on my own, kind of like every other day in the workshop, to be honest. So while I'm waiting for that silicone mold to cure or just drain away and cover my whole workshop in silicone, we can answer some questions from our patrons. Do you ever give up on a build before it's finished? I've never given up on a build, actually. If it was really terrible, yeah, I would, but it always seems to work out. Like, not to sound like arrogant or anything, but it always just kind of does. I'll just figure it out. I like the problem solving aspect. I think I'm good at problem solving and making problems, as you just saw. Also, I normally spend like a couple of weeks of my life doing it, filming it, editing it as I go. And if I don't have anything at the end of it, then there's no video for you lot. So, are you going to publish your sketchbook? I am. I want to. It's just, I think I need to cut all the pages out so I can scan them properly. No, I'm going to figure out some way of doing it. It's just, it's not on the top list of my priorities because I've got lots of things that I need to do. But I mean, look, think about it like this. Like, you know, by the time I will release a sketchbook, there'll be a lot more sketches to go in it. So there you go. Do you regret making a Discord server? Sometimes. No, I don't. Like, it manages itself. I'm not as active on there as I should be. People ask me questions, I always try and answer them. So at least, you know, if you at billmakingstuff, I tend to get back to you within a day or two. So, and to be honest, it's the only way I communicate with my patrons. I don't communicate on Patron, because if anyone has Patron, every time you post on Patron, you lose about 5 patrons. I don't know what it is. I just do all my communication on Discord. So if you are a patron and you're wondering how to get in touch with me, join Discord. And if you don't know how to do it, just ask your nephew or something. I don't know. You look like you give good hugs. Can you confirm or deny? I've never received one of my hugs, so I've no idea. Let's go check that mold.
So yeah, there's a bit of a mess. It's kind of all over the surface. I've kind of cleaned up as much of it as I can, but the whole thing is just stuck to my silicone mat. Silicone on silicone. I mean, that should be fine, shouldn't it? Look at that. Look at that. Kind of satisfying, actually. It's kind of fun peeling this stuff off. Don't try it at home. It's just a big waste of silicone mold kit, but it's kind of cured. It looks kind of like it's in... Oh my God, this is going to take me forever. I'm just going to cut it free. I'm going to cut it free from this Lego prison. It's all stuck inside the blocks. Look. Oh my God, that is kind of fun, picking that out. Maybe I'll just... Yeah, I'll do that on my own time. Anyway, I think the mould may have worked. Let me just quickly clean this up. And there we go. We have a mould. It doesn't look that much at the moment, but let's get some foam clay in there and see what happens. Here we go. A little bit more of your dad's Vaseline there, and we should be ready to go. Obviously, you want to push it in as far as you can, catch all that detail. Now I'm going to use my specific mushroom pressing texture tool. I need to think of a better name for the underside. And there we go. Look, it looks kind of like a mushroom texture underneath, and it's Turn it over, Bill. There we go, a mushroom on top. Kind of works, it looks pretty good. I want to try the smaller ones though. I wonder if the detail carries over in the smaller ones. Let's just try all of them. It's kind of tricky getting them out, but once they're out, that's good. It's, you know, to be honest with you, if the detail was perfect every time, they'd all look like the same mushroom. I think because it's foam clay, the detail might kind of warp when it cures, and they look like completely different mushroom caps. But I do like my little texture tool to push it in. I think that works really well. What do you think? Comment down below. I've let them cure for a few hours, and here we go. I went a bit mad last night. I started making like loads of mushrooms. Got my kids working on it. I also made a few stalks with some wires in them so I can position them and cut them down to whatever shape I want. Let's actually make some mushrooms, shall we? Now, I mentioned this before, but super glue loves EVA foam. I'm not sure why, it just really loves EVA foam. And this stuff cures as essentially EVA foam. It's the same stuff, so it loves super glue. So once it's stuck, it stays stuck. And I've made these little clusters of mushrooms. Look at that. It's nice, isn't it? I have no idea why I've made these mushrooms. It doesn't really matter. The whole point of this video is to see what I can use foam clay for, which seems to be anything that requires molds or cables and tentacles. So we have a few clusters of little mushrooms. I haven't primed them. Usually I would, but I just want to see how they take to speed paint without prime, because they've got a nice little white undercoat. And to be honest with you, for a 30-second paint job, not too bad. Give them a little bit of a dry brush with white, and here we go. We've got a nice few little clusters of mushrooms. Now what am I going to do with them? I have no idea. So here they are. I've got like a little handful of mushrooms I made. Well, so the push mold works really well. So it was a success. Well done. Well done, Bill. It's probably going to be people coming along in a minute. I spent all night making a few mushrooms. I painted some up, as you saw. This is about as good as a glamour shot you're going to get. I feel like leave them here somewhere. Yeah, I think we should do that. I kind of like the idea of someone going for a little walk, finding these weird little purple mushrooms and thinking they found a new species of mushroom. I think that's quite funny. So I'm just going to leave them there, I think. But thank you for watching. This is a Bill's Bits episode, Bill vlog. Next episode will be a real one, making some sort of vehicles, I think. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll see you next time. Forgive the pasty legs. They're normally under a desk. Have a good one. I need the camera. I need to keep this camera.